Okay, this is my second Christmas forecast update, and unlike the last one, I'm going to try and go into a little bit more detail about what the weather's going to do on Christmas Day. So last time I said it was going to be unsettled and cyclonic, and best of the weather was towards the southeast. And I'm still expecting this to happen, but I can go into a little bit more detail about where I think the rain and showers are going to be. Although having said that, it's still 5 days to go, so there's still quite a lot of uncertainty. The thing that hasn't changed are these showers in northwestern Scotland. They're going to be driven in by a strong southwesterly wind, which could be gale or even storm force early on as we move from Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. During the early morning period, these winds could be extremely strong, and I am expecting some very heavy rain showers through the morning, and these are going to be driven through, perhaps even inland towards the eastern side of Scotland later in the day. The showers are probably going to be mostly of rain, although having said that, there could be some sleetiness. There could be some sleetiness here and there, even down to lower levels. But I'm expecting the snow level to be about 300 metres generally in northwestern Scotland, maybe coming down a little bit at times. But I'm not expecting these showers to be snow on the whole. I think most of these showers will be rain. But having said that, we could see some hail as well. As we go later into Christmas Day, the showers might start to die down from the more eastern areas and be confined mostly to the northwest of Scotland. Northern Ireland is also likely to see some heavy rain and hail showers and possibly some sleetiness in some of the quite heavy ones. Again, these are going to be driven in on a strong westerly or southwesterly wind. So the sort of new thing that I'm interested in this time, I said last time that there was going to be some sort of frontal system across the UK with some rain, and that's still going to be the case, but you can see that it's much further south than it was on my last update. It's been pushed further to the south, and this is giving me a headache or two, because the exact positioning of this weather system is very difficult to anticipate. So what I think is it's going to start somewhere out in the Atlantic, early on Christmas Day, somewhere to the southwest of Ireland, and then move in a east-northeasterly trajectory. It's going to sort of move along the south coast, perhaps into the South Midlands, and maybe even to the southeast of England later, although I expect in the southeast of England to be mostly dry through the day. This system will also tend to weaken as it moves further east, so the more intense rain or showers are going to be in the southwest earlier on. So sort of the morning time we might expect to see some heavy rain or showers. And it's going to be a bit difficult to sort of distinguish between the rain and the showers, because this system is going to be sort of somewhat fragmented, although on its leading edge there could be some quite heavy rain, especially towards the south of this system. Also, you can see I put the snowflake symbol on here, although there is no white on the map. The reason I've done that is because on the northern edge of the system there is the possibility of some snow. Now, it's very difficult to predict where this is going to be, because if there is any snow, it'll be extremely localised. It'll be on the northern edge, but again, I don't know exactly where this system is going to be. This system could actually push towards the south, and it could be the Channel Islands that gets the worst of the rain and the showers. But if it comes a little bit further north, on the northern edge, we could see some very localised areas of snow, and despite the fact that these areas of snow are localised, they could actually be quite persistent and even potentially some disrupted areas of snow. But having said that, at 5 days in advance, it's going to be almost impossible to predict where these areas of snow are. And if this system becomes more intense and more widespread across most of the southwest of the UK, then I would expect the snow to not really occur. I would only expect the snow to occur if the system pushes more towards the south, but not so far south it only affects the Channel Islands and northern France. If the map that's shown here is to be believed and somewhat right, then I would expect the most likely areas of snow to be the Midlands, parts of Wales, and maybe even pushing into southwest England. But again, I would expect this to start off as rain, and then maybe as we push through towards noon and then into the afternoon, temperatures might start to drop. We might start to see some of this rain turning to snow. Some places may see snow. 10 miles down the road it'll be rain, but it's very localised, and I'm not expecting widespread snow. Most of this will be rain, but it's one to watch. On higher ground we might even see some coverings of snow, perhaps in parts of the Midlands, but again, very difficult to know. As this map shows, the eastern and southeastern areas are going to see the best of the weather, although having said that, northern England could still see some quite heavy, maybe even thundery showers through the morning as these southwesterly winds blow these showers inland. Although as we go through the afternoon, in particular, these showers are expected to die out, and parts of East Anglia and Yorkshire could be the best places on Christmas Day for some sunshine. This system here, if it moves further south, then we could see this sunshine extending to more of the south of the UK, and that's a very real possibility that this system could push further south. So anyway, this is one we need to keep an eye on. Temperature-wise, since my last update, I'm showing that temperatures are going to be more homogeneous. I'm not expecting any particular mild areas this time like I did last time in the south. Temperatures basically average, cold in the showers as you would expect. On higher ground the temperatures could struggle to get above freezing. Maybe in the Scottish ski areas we might see temperatures of -2, -3 on higher ground, but towns and cities, this is what we're looking at, 6s, 7s across most places. In this weather system that crosses the southern areas, we could see temperatures being pegged back a bit, especially if there is any snowfall. Having said that, I do expect this weather system to try and push through England quite quickly as we get later through the day. So even these areas could pick up towards the end of the day, and we could see some late sunshine here through Christmas Day afternoon. But yeah, it's going to be an averagey sort of day. But the strong winds will make the temperatures feel much lower than they're suggested here. So wind chill could potentially be sub-zero across most of the UK if there's strong winds. And the wind is one aspect I want to touch upon, because I am expecting the potential for some disruptive winds on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve as well. But I'm going to cover Christmas Day, as this focus is about Christmas Day. Okay, so I've got a level 3 weather alert, and this is just suggests that there might be some moderate disruption in some areas. It's too early to say exactly where this disruption could be, and you might expect this level of alert to be upgraded or downgraded as we get towards the day. I mean, there's a potential for it to be upgraded significantly, but the thing is, it's hard to it's hard to tell so far in advance where the disruption is going to be. So this is a number that represents the most likely situation, but please don't use these alerts as official weather warnings, because that's not what they're intended to be. They're intended to be just a guide about how severe the weather could get, so they're not official weather warnings by any means. Please check out the Met Office weather website on Christmas Eve, like the day before Christmas Day, to get the best indication of whether severe weather is going to be. Please do not use these alerts for life-threatening decisions or anything like that. I don't want to accept any liability for the accuracy of this forecast. Please use the Met Office or other official weather providers. That basically not me. Now, in parts of the northwestern Scotland, the worst of the winds is going to be early on. So as we move from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, there could be some severe southwesterly winds or westerly winds. Storm force in the Outer Hebrides, that's easily possible. Northwestern England, Northern Ireland, we could see some gusts of 80 or even 90 miles an hour, especially in the far northwest of Scotland. But having said that, I am expecting these winds to be tempered through the day and to really calm down later on in the afternoon as the better weather moves in. So cyclonic weather for northwest and Scotland early on, very strong winds. Now the south coast is an interesting one, because that weather system I talked about earlier, that's going to push across the southwest during Christmas Day around about noon, and then start to push away towards the afternoon. Depending on where this weather system sits, there's going to be some severely strong winds on its southern edge, and these winds could be potentially very disruptive. Now, if the system pushes a little bit further south, and these winds are going to affect the Channel Islands and northern France. Likewise, if it pushes further north, then it could affect more of the Midlands. On the northern edge of this weather system, I'd expect the winds to be much lighter, incidentally. But the south coast should be aware that there is a possibility of some quite strong winds during Christmas Day as this weather system moves through, and these winds are going to be accompanied by heavy rain, particularly if the weather system is in the position that I suggested here, with the heavy rains focused on the south coast. That's going to be accompanied by the strong winds. as we move through the afternoon and into Christmas Day evening, these winds should transfer east and die away. The southeast of England may escape the strongest of the winds. It's more the south coast and particularly the southwest that is expected to see these winds if the system is where I think it is. Okay, so now a little bit of fun, I suppose. White Christmas probabilities. So these are a few of the official Met Office weather stations that the Met Office would use to see whether or not it's going to be a white Christmas. So I've got a few of them here. I've got London, Exeter, Cardiff, Birmingham, Manchester, Belfast, Glasgow, Edinburgh and Aberdeen. And the Met Office will check these stations and others to see whether a single snowflake has fallen through the 24 hours of Christmas Day, and if it has, then that will be declared a white Christmas. Anyway, the map is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll point out that these three weather stations, as Manchester, Birmingham and Cardiff, I've put as the highest probability to see a white Christmas because of that system that's moving through, and on its northern edge there is likely to, well, I say likely, I say that there's a small possibility that we will see some snow, and I've put 1 in 3 for Cardiff, so looking at it another way, there's a 2 in 3 chance that there's not going to be any snow at all, and not even a single flake. But given these probabilities, you might expect 1 or even 2 of these weather stations to, well, maybe 1 given these probabilities, 1 of these weather stations to have a white Christmas, just 1 of these ones on this map. So these probabilities aren't ridiculously low. I mean, even a 1 in 8 chance for London, it's not insanely low. They're not particularly high either, but I might expect to see some isolated snowflakes as well in parts of northwestern Scotland if any of these heavier showers get to lower levels. Okay, so I'll update this forecast possibly if I get time and if there's any significant updates. Bear in mind that the wind distribution may change. So northwest Scotland and the south coast, that's where I'm thinking that the strongest winds will be. But again, I might need to update that. But the general picture is still the same as what it was last time. Cyclonic, unsettled, rain, showers, possibility of some snow, possibly. A rather unpleasant Christmas Day, to be honest. Best of the weather in the east and southeast. As these weather systems transfer west, things might clear later in the evening. So the afternoon and the evening of Christmas Day look to be better than the morning. The morning and during the night could be potentially quite stormy. So there we go.